Hello, everybody. This is Miguel. We're here with Julio Guerra and Ben Miller. Yes, I got the names right. But okay, so they do some amazing comics. They've worked in stuff like Botched, Judges, Death Bag. What's the name of this one?
Lush. It's
Lush. Oh, and Lush. So you guys should definitely check those out. But yeah, let's find out a little bit about them. So when did you guys get started, and how did you get started?
About 5 years ago, just for the love of the books that we've had. Like growing up, me growing up, I was into books and whatnot, and he got into it.
Like in college, I started reading like graphic novels and stuff, and then kind of got into more of the comics of it. But yeah, for me, it was just like I'd always kind of written short stories, and it's like one night I was like sitting at home listening to a Kevin Smith podcast. He's like, if you want to do something, just go out and do it. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to make a comic. And so that's where Judges came from. It took more time to make it than I thought, but yeah. So that's where that one came from for me, the first book. So,
like I said, just like the love of the books and stuff like that growing up. My uncle got in. My uncle was around superhero age, so he saw like the beginning of Marvel and when DC was, like it was Marvel versus DC stuff, and he got away from it. And then Frank Miller dropped Dark Knight. He was like, told my mom, was like, if you ever have a son, he's getting into comic books and baseball. And yeah, that's what ended up happening. I got into comic books and baseball, and now I'm here thanks to all that.
What was your best experience, creating comics, and what was your worst experience?
Best experience is meeting like these guys, man, like Miller, because we didn't know each other for a while. And then a buddy of ours, a mutual friend, started a group. He's like, hey man, there's a lot of creators in our area. Let's kind of get everyone together and let's be this team and support each other and stuff like that. And because of that, man, like I not only got friends, I got like new brothers, a new family and stuff like that. So he and I worked on some stuff, me and Adam. We have some other people here that are in our crew. We're called The Lab. So just working with them, man. Worst thing is probably losing money. I'm not going to lie, like doing like the shows and doing big shows, all that costs money. And then, none of this stuff is backed by anybody. Like there's no machine behind it. Unless we do like Kickstarters and stuff like that. But even then, that's risky. Like you don't know if you're going to make it or not. But I meant we overcome either way, so you kind of just get like frustrated a little bit. So nothing like, I quit, I'm walking away,
Yeah. For me, best thing would be like meeting people, and even like meeting, other people I would consider more like bigger names in the industry, and then liking my stuff. That's cool. Probably the worst, I don't know. One thing that's terrible is when artists don't do their work. Not him, but like other artists. One of the other worst things is like when I first came out with Judges, there was this big online comic competition. You were supposed to win all this money if you won, get your book made, and I won. And then they went out of business 2 weeks later. And I was like, oh no. So that sucked. But yeah.
So what has been your favorite project you've worked on so far? Because I'm pretty sure that'll change by next year and the year after that. But so far, what has been your favorite project?
Why you gotta ask this question, man? It's tough.
I'm just trying to find out.
Oh man, now I gotta be like biased now. He's gonna hate me later. He's like, you're going home. You're walking. Honestly, the anthology we did called Lush, because that legitimately was a labor of love. It was just a bunch of friends who got together, and I always think of that Flowbots thing. It was like me and my friends made a comic book. That's legitimately what I got to do in life, and like. Even if like we don't make it big or we don't go to Marvel or DC, at least I have something that I was like, hey, I did this with my friends. We went after a dream and we did it. Not too many people say they can do it. Like you guys with the podcast, man, same thing. It's like, I want to do one, but have they done it? So yeah, that's probably my favorite thing right now.
You probably might want to go more to Image than Marvel or DC right now.
Actually, I want to go to Dark Horse.
Dark Horse is a good one too.
Yeah, so that's like my dream, man. Is Dark Horse.
Okay, what about you? What has been your favorite project so far?
My favorite project is probably one that is just about to come out called Kanisha, and just because the subject matter deals with police brutality and things like that, and it was a real passion project of mine, and it took a long time to get it made, and there were setbacks along the way, but like I'm really passionate about that. So it's coming out soon. As soon as the printer gets back to me, hopefully it'll. But yeah, so that's probably my favorite so far.
So for people that are trying to start their own comic, do you have any tips for them, or what can you recommend for them?
Just do it. Just go for it, man. It's cool to look at other artists, but don't compare yourself. Like, I'm a huge Jim Lee fan. Love him. But I'm not Jim Lee. My style's not like Jim Lee. I can I can mimic him, but it won't be the same. But he inspires me to do better, to be the best I can be. And that's all they can do is like, yeah, you're not going to like your work when you first come out. Like, sometimes we look at our stuff from way back then and just like, wow, I did that. And look at it now. Just keep going, man. Don't give up. There's going to be times where you're like, should I be doing this? Because we struggle with that. We have conversations right now, like, you know what, man, I think I'm done. And it was like, no, man, keep going. Like, someone out there is looking for you, and they know they're looking for you. So just keep going so they can find you.
What about you?
Coming at it from a little different perspective as a writer, when you're looking for an artist, I say you're first starting out, don't necessarily go for a bigger name. Like, keep a decent budget, because most likely you're going to lose money on your first book. So don't go way over budget and break the budget on it, because there's a good chance that you'll make your first book and no company will care that you made your first book. You know, I mean, some guys get picked up, but it's real rare. So it's like, you're probably going to be self-publishing. Understand that promotion is just as important as making it. Like, social media, if you're going to do a Kickstarter, that's another full-time job, doing a Kickstarter. Like, if you haven't lost some Facebook friends because they're tired of getting messaged to you when you have a Kickstarter, you haven't done it right. So, yeah, it's a grind, but like, if you really want to do it, then just like you said, go for it.
And where can people find you guys so they could contact you guys or find some of your work?
Oh, okay. Right now, you can find both of us at Guerrilla Publishing Co., right? What is the Guerrilla Publishing thing?
Guerrilla Publishing Group.
Oh, okay. Guerrilla Publishing Group. And that's on Facebook and Twitter and all that fun stuff. So you guys can find us there.
There's also a website, guerrillapublishinggroup.com. It's
go.
not quite finished, but there's something there for it.
It'll tell you where we are currently.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's same thing on Instagram, Guerrilla Publishing. So
Find us there.
Okay, definitely. Well, thank you so much for the interview. Hopefully one day you guys could join us for one of the podcasts. So it'll be an extended 30, 45-minute interview.
Oh, that'd be
so
great.
that'll be cool. And we also get to drink beer during it. So.
When can we do that? Can we do that today? We'll meet you there after this.
All right, but thank you, Ben. And thank you, Julio.
Oh, thank you guys. Appreciate it.